This is the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, halfway across the world, it's Jared Morgan.
Hey everyone, how you going?
Alrighty. So, we're going to kind of, I want to say we're going to jump right in, but I'd be lying. Because
We never jump right in.
We never
That's
jump
not
right
how we
in.
do things here at BlahCade.
You know what's interesting, Jared? For the
What?
longest time when we started this show, I had never listened to podcasts. I always
Right.
modeled our show off of what I heard on the radio.
Yes.
And as of late, I've been listening to, I have about 5 podcasts that I listen to now.
Right.
And they're all entertainment related or news related. But the interesting part is they all do the cold open.
Oh, really?
They all do exactly this. So I kind of think that's interesting. I'm like, interesting. We were doing it right all along. How about that?
All right. So they always do a little bit of banter.
A little bit. And I don't know what the
Yeah.
logic of that is. If it just feels right for people
It
coming
feels
in.
like I
But-
think for me it feels more natural to come in and just sort of just talk about stuff. Get like you would do if I think of it like if you and I walked into a bar and we met each other in the bar, we wouldn't go, "Hey, Chris, let's immediately talk about pinball right now." We'd talk about, we'd have like a bit of, "Hey, how you going? How's the weather? Isn't it great? Good. All right. Oh, also this thing." So it sort of feels a little bit more
normal
conversation.
social politeness.
Social norms. That's right.
Social norms.
Yes.
There we go.
It's That's
Yeah.
how we're gonna have to index this now. It's social norms.
I wanted to give a big thank you to everybody. You all did very well. You pushed us over that 800 subscriber limit after
Oh,
my
you
plea last time.
legends.
So
You are
thank you
a
so
bunch of
much. We can get that monkey off our back, and now we don't have to worry about it again until we're approaching 1,000, which should be another 2 years.
At the rate of growth that we have, yes, it's a slow burn for us to get subscribers.
Yeah, sometimes we get a big jump, but it's never massive. So yeah.
No.
Hey, since last time, Andor finished.
Yep.
And way to stick the landing, guys.
Oh
Damn.
boy. Oh wow. Yep. They are not joking when they say this is probably the best bit of sort of adjacent Star Wars content that's been produced for years.
It's also
is
just damn
incredible.
good TV.
Yeah.
Somebody was pointing out something that is very uncommon in television, and that is early on the season, like first 3 episodes, so I'm not spoiling terribly much, but there is a conflict between 2 characters where the one character is basically saying, in not so many words, hey, you want me to promote the rebellion, I need to be paid more. And the person that they're saying that to then has a conversation with another person, and they're like, we're not going to be paying him, we need to get rid of him. And that person's like, what? I don't understand what you're talking about. And then we see that second person's assistant go and, or not assistant, their cohort, someone that they send on missions, piloting that person away, and we never see them again for the rest of the show. And what they were saying was, everything is implied, and it means that you have to actually watch and pay attention to get the nuances, because they're not just explicitly telling you, this is what we're going to do, now we're going to show you doing it, and now we're going to discuss about what we just did.
It's not just one you can sit there on your phone having a bit of
No.
a casual scroll. You've got to be fully engaged.
Yeah, and that's so rare, but so satisfying for me, personally.
Yeah. It's like it's like TV used to be, right? When
Yeah, well,
you had to keep track
some
of
TV.
things. Some TV.
TV I grew up with, everything was disposable. You could, I always joke about the A Team. If you turned in at 8:35 p.m., that was when the montage of them building the thing that was going to save the town.
Oh yeah,
it was
that's true. It was very cookie cutter back then. Some of the
Yes.
shows were like the real
Yes.
syndicated shows were very cookie cutter formulaic.
But the difference between, just good writing and excellent writing, it's what you expect out of a movie because, well, up until recent times, you didn't bring out your phone in a movie theater. You were in a dark room, fully focused on that one and only thing. So they
Yeah.
could do things like that. But I
Hey,
did
that's a.
do. Oh yeah, go.
I was gonna. This is probably an aside, but I'll let you finish what you're going to say. But I'll just park that point about bringing out your phone in the cinema because I had a thing yesterday about that.
Oh,
Um,
um,
yeah.
I was just gonna say though I did get to do what I was hoping to do, which was I watched those final 3 episodes. I immediately put on Rogue One, and I watched Rogue One, and it just rolled right into it. There's 2 moments that you kind of go, continuity. We need to fudge that, but otherwise, rock solid. Like no notes beyond that. And it did change my point of view about that movie completely.
Right.
Because in previously I didn't really care about the first half of the movie, and I was just like, the second half is great, but the first half was really boring. I don't know, and it was Jyn Erso's story, right?
Mm.
Now I'm viewing it, no, this is Andor's story, and he just picked up this other character, Jyn Erso, who happens to be doing things, but it's kind of like the show where certain episodes would start featuring other characters much more heavily, and you knew that Andor was doing something in the background. That's kind of how it changed, and so that first half became much more interesting to me. Um, and
Yeah.
it
They've
changed the way the ending of that movie is. So it was no
I'm gonna
great.
have to go and watch Rogue One, but apparently then you could, if you wanted to really have the full end-to-end experience, you then go and watch episode 4.
Oh right, yeah, roll right into it.
Roll right into that, and then that sort of like essentially completes the whole loop,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice. It's interesting to see how then it sort of rolls back in
Yeah.
to like the original lore. I think you can forgive them for that little bit of spackle they had to put over those 2 bits in the movie. Oh, like sorry, in the show versus
Yes.
the movie. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, you've just done like this massive arc with multiple characters and huge storylines. We'll give you that, you know.
And honestly, there's ways of explaining away what is heard. You can go like, well, what they really meant, So again, because of the ambiguity that is in certain aspects, but like I said, you just kind of go, whatever, keep on going. This is too good. What were you gonna say then about what happened to you in a theater with a
Oh yeah,
phone?
so I went to see the last Mission Impossible yesterday in
Ah,
cinemas.
I'm gonna do that this weekend.
Yeah, well, I can't believe that I'm actually ahead of you with going to see the movies. That is literally a show first. Everyone, put a timestamp on this part of the show and call it out. So yeah, I was in there, and of course we went to gold class because this is like essentially a 3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's long, so don't get the big soda when you go in there because I did have to exit once. But the way you do things now in like these gold class or whatever they're called over in the US, where you have not sofas, but like the
The recliner
recliners.
seats and
Yeah.
little tray in front of you to put your food and
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
So the way this works is if you want more food, you order from your app basically in the cinema. You
Oh,
don't necessarily have to like go out or press the button or whatever. But yeah, they've got like just order from your app if you want more food. So this is interesting because it's like they tell you to turn off your phone, like don't ring, but they then literally in the next ad encourage you to take out your phone and order food. It's like, uh, okay, because when you take out your phone, what are you going to do? You're going to
right,
go in, oh, I got messages. I'm going to check the messages
right.
and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, man. It doesn't feel, it's doesn't feel quite right.
They need to have little remote controls that are, just button push, and when a little picture of a popcorn, a little picture of a drink, a little picture of some candy,
Yeah.
you just push that, and then the person comes over with their tray, and then you go, oh yeah, I want that, and I want that, and I want that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's right. But of course, gold class here is like, well, you can have like 3 sliders, or you can have,
Ah.
would you like churros? Which we did have, and they were very good.
I
Like,
remember, and this was years ago, because I was visiting a friend I want to say in San Diego when we went and saw a movie, and what was different was that during the movie they brought in a cart filled with concessions,
Oh, right.
And if you wanted some soda or popcorn or candy or whatever, you got up out of your seat and you went down to where they were with that, off to the side, and that way
yeah.
you could still watch the movie, but you can still get your refill
I see.
and then
That's
go back.
genius.
Yeah, and so
That's
it
great.
was much less disruptive. So, yeah. What
Yeah,
are
I
you
think
gonna
that's a really smart idea. Like having someone wheel in a concessions cart would actually, honestly, result in sales if they did it.
the problem with that is that means they'd have to hire more people.
Yeah,
And as it is, the movie theaters are running off of bare minimum staff.
an oily rag at the moment,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's give everybody a reminder about what we were talking about last week. We were talking about the X Arcade tank sticks back there behind myself and right over Jared's shoulder too, that in its new home.
Yeah.
Jared's drum set has morphed into a VR station.
I've declared bankruptcy. I've got the drum kit up on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh
selling it.
wow,
It's
you're full
it's
on. See
gone.
ya.
This is the new drum set now. It's here, and this honestly, it's much better having it there. It was nice to have it, over my right shoulder for the show last week because it has a really nice LED panel on it. But it's far more practical right there.
With that TV screen overhead, though, that actually adds in a little functionality to that stick that you've got there, because if you wanted to play MAME games or had a console hooked up to the TV and then you got the adapter to play, you would be able to use that whole stick mechanism. So
That's right. So I've actually
bad.
got my old gaming laptop underneath all that pile of
Ah,
stuff.
okay.
There. So what's open there is actually my gaming laptop. It's not overly powerful. Like it's a RTX 20 something.
Again,
So
you're running old MAME games. It doesn't matter.
well, yeah, you could use it definitely as a main box if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And then just use the controller the way it was intended. With probably arguably a lot less faffing about, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yes. So today we're going to talk about the software, because the two of us have now had much more significant time to be able to put into using the X Arcade stick. This specifically what do they call it? The TV to
Arcade2TV
Arcade2TV-XR. Yeah, what a mouthful.
That does not roll off the tongue, which is why I literally just call it the X Arcade.
X Arcade, yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't initially want to call it that is because they actually have a black tank stick called the X Arcade. It was their first iteration of this. But for the purposes of this show, yeah, we're just going to call it the X Arcade. It's so much. I mean, it's glowing underneath the thing. Why wouldn't we call it that?
Yep.
So the unit comes with codes for 2 games. One of them is Pinball VR. We're going to talk about that in a bit. The other one is this game called Arcade Ranger. Now, Arcade Ranger it's basically, I want to say, call it an arcade simulator, in that you have a space, you can put arcade cabinets down, you can decorate the space, make it look like your ideal arcade hangout cave. There is a game component to it, which is, if you've ever played Arcade Paradise, it's kind of like that. Arcade Paradise. Jared, do you know what I'm talking about with Arcade Paradise?
Is it one of those sort of like a little bit like Football Manager 2025 or whatever,
Yes,
where you manage an arcade?
Basically are tasked with running your dad's laundromat, and you find that there's room in the back area with a couple of old games, and you're like, hey, why don't I clean those up? And because you didn't want to run a laundromat. And so while you're earning money off the laundromat and cleaning up and making sure the machines work, you then are able to build up these games in the back. And ideally, in the end, the arcade winds up being more successful than the laundromat, right? And it has you playing these generic whatever created for the games. They're kind of different and weird, but there they are, right? So it's kind of similar to that, in that you have a budget, and you build up, and you have artwork that you can put down, and you can provide food, and you have these games, and then you open for business, and floating heads, basically, or floating torsos come in, and you earn money that way.
Okay.
So, not a bad, I mean, it's not an original concept, but not a bad concept for things. The problem is, it's a half-baked program. And when I say half-baked, it's half of a half-baked program. It is buggier than all get out. For starters, the tutorial, if you do not follow to the letter what it wants you to do, it'll literally freeze you out of being able to advance any farther in the tutorial.
Wow. So the tutorials there to help. Tutorials are there to supposed to like help you progress through the game and understand the mechanics, but this actually doesn't even do that.
Yes.
Properly.
So I'll give an example.
Wow.
It says, hey, you need to build and put some items in, right? And it gives you the full laundry list of items that you can put in.
Right.
What you're supposed to do is
right.
And so instead, what you're only supposed to do is like select one of the top 4 that is, in the very first row. Now you would kind of know that if you looked off on this little video board that's in the background that's also telling you the rules. The problem is the tutorial message is slammed right in front of your face and you can't see around that.
Right.
So I went and I was like, oh, I guess I need to populate this arcade. So I started spending money and populating the arcade, and all of a sudden I ran out of money, and I'm like, okay, now what do I do? No idea. I couldn't back out of that portion. It froze everything out. I was stuck. I had to restart the tutorial.
Man.
I restarted the tutorial 3 times before I finally figured out how to move on beyond that particular bit. Then it became...
So the challenge is actually getting through the tutorial first.
So then,
get through it.
And then as you're in the tutorial, the next thing, all of a sudden it shows you that, oh, hey, look at that. You've got a giant pile of trash in the middle of your arcade. You've got dirty tables and arcade machines, and you've got broken arcade machines. So now it's teaching you, okay, now you got to clean up and fix. Okay, that went fairly smoothly. It was fairly self-explanatory. Great. Right. I get done with that, and then it says, okay, here's a customer. You're able to survey your customers and find out what it is that they're interested in basically. Yeah. Are they there for the games, the food, the decoration? And
no one's there for the decoration.
I know. And so person comes forward, and it's, well, you can ask them 3 questions for free, or you can pay money and do a deep survey.
What are they, a genie? 3
so
questions.
I went, okay, great. So I went and I asked, like, what? Well, you're interested in this, this, and this. Great. Back to being frozen. Can't go any farther. Can't do anything.
Because you didn't ask the right questions?
Because I didn't do what I was supposed to do, which was pay for the deep survey.
What?
Yeah.
So from that point, after like buying a machine and cleaning up your arcade and then asking a customer a question, you had to go back to the very beginning to do
everything do it all over again.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you when I say that I probably restarted this tutorial about 6 or 7 different times before I finally got into the game itself.
Wow.
By that point, I'm just like, no.
Oh. Oh boy.
So now you've got this lame arcade with, because you're just starting out. So you've thrown up a couple of whatever decorations on the wall. You've thrown down a couple of slices of pizza and some soda. That's how people eat. And I had like 4 arcade cabinets. So then it starts, okay, here comes customers. And it's like The Sims. They're like, and all of a sudden money pours out of them, right? And then you got to go around and you got to collect the money. You got to run over the money and collect it. And
okay, they just drop it on the floor and you got to collect the money.
Yes, yeah. It's not like it's inside the machine and you collect it afterwards. No, you got to do this. And then vagrants come in.
Vagrants.
And they've all got, or gang members, I think is what they call them. But they've got mohawks and bats and things. And they are just coming in, and they're...
straight out of Streets of Rage.
Yes. They are beating up your machines. They're putting trash all over the place, and they're spray painting graffiti on things. And you have to go
Really?
around and you have to clean these things up so that your customers don't have a bad experience. Then you're frankly doing this. And then if you actually survive the wave, because they were calling it waves, if you survive the waves and you're wind up being closed for the day, you then get about a minute and a half to make upgrades before the next day starts. Minute and a half is not even remotely close to a long enough time to be able
You
to.
can't even open the menu and see what's there in a minute and a half.
No. And the waves just get harder as they come, like more brutal. I'm like, this is
more
not
Streets of Rage
fun.
villains coming through, bashing up your machine.
Yeah. So that's
horrible.
That's the game aspect, right?
Yeah.
Now the real reason for this entire thing existing is that you are able to bring in MAME ROMs and play them. Technically, you can play them inside of a cabinet. They have the various versions of cabinets. Is the screen straight up and down? Is it laying flat? Is it portrait or landscape mode? So you can do that. Importing and getting it to recognize where the MAMEs are is an incredible journey. Oh my God, I cannot tell you the frustration that I was going through. I'm like, I have the ROMs, and how do you had to hook up the headset to your computer and had it talk, and then and then that's the only way, because you got to open up the quest files, but in order to open up the quest files, you have to have side quest, basically, or something like that. I don't know what. Anyway, you got to be able to open up and get in there, and then there's very specific folders. When I say you're going in the tree, it's about a 7-step process of tree to get into. And if you don't know any of this information, and God, why would you? Because the game, of course, doesn't tell you how to do any of it.
Maybe they should put a tutorial in for that.
No, and I understand why they're not. They're playing the legal game.
Oh, we're playing you can do this.
You
but
can
it's
do
up to
this.
You.
Go visit our Discord is all it says.
Right.
And then you go visit the Discord, and here's the thing. Nobody wants to talk about it there either. Because all the users are like, I don't want to get banned. I don't want to, I don't want to tell any. So it's pulling teeth trying to get any information at all. So I finally found the information of what ROMs to download for and how to get them in there. I'm like, okay, fine. So I do all that, and I get it going, and I run into an issue where with MAME there are certain titles, and I'll just use Zaxxon as a clean example, where it doesn't have the audio included with the ROM. You have to actually find this audio samples folder that, again, nobody wants to direct you to where it is. You just have to stumble upon it, and then you have to put that in a samples folder among everything to be able to do that.
Wow.
Again, going branching, find out where I'm going to have to put this within everything. And it would not let me copy into this one specific folder. It was like locked out. It wouldn't copy anything into it. I deleted and reinstalled the game 6 different times.
Wow.
Trying to get it to work. My friend who had the game was able to do it, boom, right off the bat. I could not do it for whatever reason. Couldn't figure out why. And all I can think of is because when you hook up your Quest to the computer and you take it off your head, then it like goes sleep, not sleep, sleep, not sleep, and it doesn't want to like stay actively open. And I think that as it was reinstalling, it corrupted that particular folder every single time. Because eventually, one time, all of a sudden, it magically let me put things in. So I finally got all the sound issues corrected, got everything functional that way. And I'm like, okay, great. Now I can actually play using the X Arcade stick, because I really wanted to use that trackball to play some Centipede.
Yeah, right.
It is the clunkiest front end. It is so frustrating. It doesn't remember, this game you want to have it in portrait mode, and this game you want to have it in landscape mode. It doesn't remember that. It only remembers whatever your last setting was. It's having it play inside of a cabinet is a beast to try and get it to do. I just have it in a floating screen, being able to go. Navigating, it doesn't just, when you go back to the selection menu, go to where your last title was. It goes all the way back to either A or Z, and then you got to scroll through all your titles to find where it is that you want. All it's displaying is the ROM names, not the actual game name, because the ROM names are frequently very different from what the actual game is called.
Yeah.
It is so incredibly frustrating. And it's such a bummer.
So Arcade Ranger,
Yeah.
in summary, it's not novelly solving any problems that having MAME installed on your flat screen computer would solve,
No.
and then using something like Virtual Desktop to connect to your PC via Airlink and then display the MAME front end of your choosing in the big virtual floating screen in
Probably.
Virtual Desktop.
Yeah. The literally the only selling point that is interesting that it, to me was, oh, wait a second, I can have all these various cabinets, because you can have, two cabinets side by side running different games, and when you walk up to them, you can be like, okay, now I'm going to play this ROM. The problem is you can, according to somebody else, because I never got this far, you can only have about 4 ROMs up and running before the game will crash.
Oh.
So you can't even have like 50 arcade cabinets going and experience an arcade like that. You can have the actual artwork of the game that you want on the sides of the cabinet and on the marquee and everything. Do you think they provide any of that? Of course not.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
It's all the users that have to come up with this stuff, which, okay, fine. So I was using on my Arcade 1-Up cab that I have MAME on, I have Launchbox. Launchbox, you enter in the name of the ROM, and it'll search all the media for you and give it to you, and then provide. I'm like, one push, boom, done.
Lovely.
So nice.
Yep.
So nice. And Launchbox is not the easiest thing in the world to use either, but it's
easier than this.
Infinitely easier than this. So,
Yep.
It's just, like I said, it's an amazingly half-baked, barely QA'd thing.
That's why it's free.
Well, it's not free to users. I mean, it's free to anybody that does X-Arcade, but you can download the game on Quest and pay for it. It's $10, I think.
Nope.
Not worth it, but
yeah,
can.
That sounds definitely like an exercise in user tolerance.
Oh my god.
I would not have been able to last as long as you, man. Like, I would have gone, nah, this thing's hot trash. I'm not even bothering with
well,
it.
it's funny because Jared says that, and I was sending Jared some updates and like, hey, here's all the ROMs that I found, and I was making a spreadsheet and all this stuff. And Jared's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do any of that.
Yeah, nope. No, if I want to, it's like, it sounds like, that's why I made the comment, like, why wouldn't you just like load it up on like that, computer behind me here and just go virtual desktop, nice big virtual screen, playing the ROMs, nice front end. I mean, that's still in virtual reality.
Yeah.
And that's still sounds infinitely better than using that app. And even the game aspect of it sounds hot trash.
Oh, the game is hot trash. The game is
Yeah.
really terrible. It's so barely thought out. Like I said, Arcade Paradise does a much better job of it. It's functional. It gives you time to do repairs. It gives you time to even play the games if you want to help your customers out the next day. It's not punishing, whereas this just like was just wave after wave of what am I doing? I'm not playing Space Invaders of Arcade Room here.
It's like the Plants vs Zombies of arcade management, where you get wave 1, wave 2, then final boss wave.
Yeah.
It sounds not good.
Not good. Not good.
Not good.
So I think It's such a stark contrast to then the other program that we have attached to the X Arcade, which of course is Zen's Pinball Arcade or Pinball VR.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that, I don't know if you've all heard about this other game that got announced. Jared, did you hear about? I know I talked about it beforehand with you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring this up on our screen there. Pinball Repair 2025. Have you heard about this, Jared?
No, this is new news to me. Yeah,
It's
this
a
looks interesting.
no. I just stumbled upon this on the web that it apparently it is a kind of like farm simulator or car mechanic. You basically are able to start off with a minimal amount of money and a broken down machine, and you're going to fix it and try and get it up and running, and then you're able to purchase other machines or help other people fix their machines, build up your collection. You can go ahead and you got to source parts. It's a little bit of a puzzle game because if you tear apart a machine, it doesn't just automatically put things back. You have to actually know where everything goes and screw them all in.
Oh,
It's like very detailed. And once you are all done assembling and putting the thing together, yes, you can play the machine, but then you can also just turn around, sell it for profit, bring in other machines. You can fully customize. You can change all the rubbers. You can put in, different lighting system. You can, powder coat all your rails, stuff like that. Just it's a full, like I said, simulator of it's not meant for you to really play pinball. That's more just like, congratulations, you put this thing together, flip around a bit. Now go build another one. Go fix that other one. Because a lot of these.
it's the meta. It's the meta of stuff that we all do as pinball machine owners.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all era. So you want to work on EMs? Great. That's a whole. Now you got to learn how to do relays and switches of that nature. You want to work on a solid state machine? Well, bring out your multimeter because you're going to have to chase down electrical bugs. You can bring up full schematics, chase wiring, how everything is going, and it's levels of difficulty, obviously, but it's one of those things where, hey, if you want to go ahead and purchase, said machine off of an auction site, and it's out of your league for what you know how to do, well, you can either spend the time trying to learn it yourself, or you can kick it to the curb and start on something smaller and build your knowledge base up until you're able to.
You can flip it and then go for something that's like working but a bit broken. Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily my thing, but would that be your thing?
I don't know. I think I do enough repair anyhow on all my machines. I don't think I need to simulate it.
Yeah.
But look, if you want the experience, if you want to, if this was a thing that you could get and try like going, I think I want to own a pinball machine. I go, just wait a second, go and play this game first and then see if you still want to own a pinball machine. I think it will be a very good training package for that, let me tell you.
Yeah. By the way, that's completely fake. Duh. I was just
although I bet you there's some people in the comments going, this is awesome, when's it going to be released?
I'm not, it could be very interesting. I'm not saying that
it'd
it
be
could.
better than Arcade Ranger.
And that's just it. It was when I was thinking about Arcade Ranger and going, it'd be fun if you could build your own arcade and you'd have a back room with like machines that would need repair. And then that's where it kind of got me. Oh, hey, I've played games that are like that, and you can do some things. But I was like, can you imagine if it was a puzzle game though? Okay, here's all the pieces. Figure out where they go.
Yeah. You can make it, honestly, there'd be ways of making it sort of fun, but still educational. Like you could engage like some puzzle mechanics, like not like I have to put piece A in piece B and like connect them together. But you could do it like, I've seen some of these rhythm action games where it's I can't remember the name of the game, but it's wild. Like it's like a dream sequence and you're doing like really random things that progress the story along.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have some sort of mechanic like that, like use your mouse and press A to like turn a screwdriver, and then it would advance the story of fixing a machine. Like you could do innovative stuff like that to make it like something that people who have no interest in like screwing a screw in still have fun and learn stuff about it. Like it'd be interesting. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go, folks. All right, let's talk about the real game. Pinball
Yeah.
Effects VR. Polar opposite of Arcade Ranger. This thing works. It's
also a very different game as well. So it's like
very
comparing
different
apples
game.
with a spaceship.
But here's the thing. It's almost like the aesthetics, like it's almost like Zen did the exact same thing, though. Hey, we're going to build up our cave. We've got decorations on the wall. We've got different kinds of carpet and things that are hanging. We've got, random cups lying around and a vending machine for some reason that, ejects soda cans that you can't drink. But it's creating a mood. And then you walk around and we just got the update that added 9 more machines. And it added more partitions and more rooms to wander through and go through.
Yep. I'll tell you what, they got good tradies there. They managed to build this entirely new room in like a month. It looks really good.
The other thing about it is that with the X Arcade, folks, it's such a disadvantage if you don't have this thing. I'm telling you, my scores are so much better, but it lines you up perfectly with the machine every time. It's so quick and responsive. It just, you feel there. You feel like it just functions really well. Now, we're going to take a look at some gameplay. And mainly, one of the things that we're taking a look at is the environmental effects that are happening to the sides of the machine.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, Jared, if you experienced this with this update. Previously, I turned off the environmental effects. I'm like, I don't want to deal with these things. They're distracting.
Yep.
But now, if you've turned off the environmental effects, when the game is over, and it doesn't even let you enter your initials into the game. You have to turn on the environmental effects because they're doing a whole animation, like an ending game animation. And while that's going on, you're able to actually interact with the machine and enter in your score initials, which is
that's interesting. I haven't experienced that, but what I have experienced is that I'll give an example here with Safecracker. It has an incredibly long post-game animation.
Yeah,
and even with the environmental effects off, you have to essentially wait for that to play out.
Yes,
and that's just so annoying. If they're off, I don't want to see them for a reason because, generally speaking, I don't want to have to wait 30 seconds for the animation to finish so I can restart a game.
Yeah.
So if I'm not seeing them, I don't want the end of game, whatever that is. Turn that off. That's really frustrating.
So that's hopefully something that Zen will patch and fix. Because it wasn't... Previously, when you had the animations off, you still did have to wait a little bit. That was one of my comments to you off camera last time. I was like, yeah, the game ends and it says push the launch button. I'm pushing the launch button and it's just not ending. It's not ending. It's not ending. It's not kicking me out. And I realized it was waiting for the non-existent animations to finish their cycle before letting me exit. But like I said, now, because I had a bonkers game on Medieval Madness, I was like, sweet, let's go enter my initial. Everything's just there in front of my face. Endgame. I'm like, no, I want to enter my initials. And it wouldn't let me enter my initials. And
interesting.
So that's when I read from other people, and they're like, you got to have environmental animation on if you want to be able to do that.
Yes, that's a bug.
So that's a bug.
You shouldn't have to have, yes, that would be one that I would be reporting because that's not correct.
Yeah. Okay.
That's bad handoff.
That literally is the negative bug thing that's going on with this. Let's go look at some of these things, right? So we're going to fire this up. Jared did some video recording.
Yes.
Push play.
Roll the footage.
Roll the footage. We're starting with Medieval Madness.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say that's distracting.
Yeah, distracting. Cool though.
Cool.
But okay, this is the thing about these visual extras, right? Like, they look great in things like this, right? When you're looking at a show reel, it's like For sizzle reels, they look incredible. But when have you ever played a pinball machine with something standing in your field of vision and enjoyed that experience? Like, if you're playing a tournament, for example, there's a explicit rule in the IFPA rules that say no one is to stand in front of you and get in your field of vision. It's literally a rule.
Yeah.
And what are these things doing? Waving their hands around and growling at you while you're playing a pinball machine. So, I mean, I get it.
Well, and you've also got the enhanced visuals playing too. So you've got fully animated things going on the table at the same time as fully animated things flying around the table or
it's
doing
too much.
things. Yeah, it really is.
So the one thing that on Medieval Madness that I guess was something I didn't like was the dragon flying around when you got multi-ball.
Yes.
And I can actually probably scrub to that.
Yeah, scrub through.
I'll see if I can find it. Here we go. Oh, what a jump. We found it immediately. So here we go. Now the dragon takes off and off he goes, right? And look where he flies. Right over your flippers. So it's not completely apparent here, but in VR, he is literally flying right over your flippers. It's like the that sort of see me, feel me blind in the Data Tommy pinball.
Yeah.
That goes over your flippers. It's that bad. But it's still cool, and I really wanted to see it in VR. And I'd say, look, for the most part, I'd probably still have the visual effects running in Medieval, mate. Good, look, he's just chilling at the top.
I know, that's great.
He's having to chill his board. Like, he's just waiting for you to finish your multi-ball so you can come and hang off your pinball machine again,
Yeah, I don't mind the visual enhancements on Medieval. I turned them off myself. However, I have left the flaming balls on.
Yeah, the flaming balls are kind of cool.
I do like those, so I've left that on.
I think it's interesting in VR, but so you have the flaming balls on all the time as a ball skin, do you?
For this machine, you can put different ball trails on all different machines. Like on Adam's Family, I got lightning shooting out the back of them.
Yeah. So you do that, do you?
I
find that they actually affect the frame rate slightly. So I know that I had these really cool looking warp trails on Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the ball movement wasn't as smooth as it was without them on, or with the standard ones on.
Okay.
So I was like, But look at the castle, right? It's just sitting there. It's not animated. It's just a castle on a plinth. Like, I was expecting the castle to go crazy when I got the multi-ball, explode and animate and stuff. But no, it's just a static model. They put all the energy into the
dragon.
Yeah, distracting smile. Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong franchise.
All right, go to the next table.
All right. I'll just I do have index points in here, so if you want to have a look at here we are. The getaway.
The getaway.
It's a copper.
Eating a donut. How original. Yeah. This one did not distract me.
No.
The copper's fairly
but
still.
I do have a comment about this in general. Like, the police officer is literally the same one as on the table. He's quickly scarfing down his coffee and putting his coffee at the top, which I think is a nice touch.
It is a nice touch.
Although, the first thing I tried to do is tilt, and
shake the coffee off?
Didn't wiggle. the coffee cup did not wiggle on the top of the back box. I was going, it's do not put beers on machines. But the thing that was interesting here is that I was playing a 5-minute challenge in all these ones. The brief was walk up to the game, sight unseen. I hadn't played these before. Walk up, do a 5-minute challenge, walk away, do the next table. That's the goal I set myself. And the thing that I had played before was that in a regular classic or pro game where you have ball cycles, the thing that gets to me, I don't know whether it's intentional or not, but every time you drain, the copper laughs at you.
Yeah.
And I can see him doing it on the play field. He sort of goes, oh, ha, 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 and doubles over. But when the full-size one does it with sound effects, I have, on several occasions, looked at him, and yelled expletives at him because it's like, F you, mate. Like, I just drained the ball and now you're laughing at me. If I could virtually punch the guy in the face, I would, because it's really annoying.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary for him to do it.
You're like, I don't need you taunting me.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I know I suck there. I don't need you to reinforce it. Like, what about encouragement? Like, you know, go, oh, that's all right. You'll get the next one or something like that. No, you're going to laugh at me and ridicule me. Great. All right, you're going off.
I will say, with Getaway, I turn off visual enhancements because I do not like the glowy ball.
Oh, yeah.
It looks fat. It looks giant, and it, like, throws off like that. That big, giant red ball.
Why. I don't really understand why it needs to be glowing. Like,
yeah, they're saying it's a hot ball, like it's moving really fast. When it moves so fast, it turned molten. I don't know. I don't like it, and so I tend to turn it off.
Yeah, I'm a little bit the same. So look, visual effects on this one.
I said not distracting, because he's just kind of casually hanging. So
yeah, he's just standing pretty statically and not doing too much.
Yeah.
When you get into a multi-ball, he starts writing you tickets, and I kind of like it.
Oh yeah, and he slaps the ticket on the back box.
on the back glass. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So this guy's all right. He can hang around. Apart from
he can
ridiculing me
I'm
every time
not bad. All right, let's move on to next.
Yep. That's the wrong one. We don't have that.
Oh yeah, hold on. Go back to that real quick.
This?
Yes. Okay, just so people understand what we do. So you slide your the stick in.
I'll replay it again.
Oh yeah. If you want to play again, you hit the left flipper. If you want to exit, you hit the right flipper. So that's a nice way. But then you gotta, when you're exiting, you gotta pull out the controller, exit out, move over to your next machine, select the machine,
select your mode,
push play. Then you got to select that I'm going to do X arcade mode, and then it does this nice little, hey, remember what your reality you're in? You put your sticks in, you push the two flipper buttons,
to reality,
and now you're lined up exactly with your table. So,
yep.
Just I wanted to highlight what the X arcade does that's different from your regular game.
So I kind of just jump straight into this one. Crazy Bob's on the left. Your bathtub bike fan. There's bits and pieces on the right to make up your jalopy. So this one's not terribly themed. This Bob is moving a little bit too much.
He is, and occasionally he bangs on the table or crawls underneath it and starts wrenching on it.
Yeah,
like I think.
And when you lose the ball, his animation isn't bad. He kind of just like pats the table and go, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand why he does that, but. I don't know. It's like he's fixed the table and you drain the ball fixes it, because he's like spattering away on the underneath of the table and kicking the table, and then when you drain, he's like patting the table, go, okay, I've fixed you now. It's like, oh, I'll fix you in a minute, mate.
What I would have rather have had was the angel and the devil.
Yes. Like I get, like, you know, Crazy Bob here is the protagonist, but like Angel and Devil would have been number one, much better models, and you could have swapped them out.
Yep.
Like with when the game does what it's doing.
Yep.
Missed opportunity, honestly. Yeah. So this is, I'll just point this out, right? So normally, I'm about to go back to 1992 here, and that would be normally the Addams Family table, I think. Oh. Or maybe not. Maybe that's 93. Where it would go and do Mamushka. But I remember reporting back ages ago that if you enter into Mamushka and you let the ball drain all the time, what you can do is basically the spinner will act as switch hits. So the ball launch spinner will act as switch hit. You can pretty much rack up 8 or 9 million just by letting the ball drain.
That's what I used to do on the mobile app.
Yeah, does it do that on that?
It used to, and then they patched it.
Yeah, well, I think they patched it on here, so they don't offer in Time Challenge anymore, Mamushka, perhaps. And they've gone into the secret mode, which is from the Getaway.
Yeah.
Where your like switch hits give you, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Maybe they've gone and worked that out. Anyhow,
I mean, 5-minute challenge is probably different than...
Probably is, yeah.
Than this.
Next one?
Yeah, next one.
Next. Scrubbing. Where are we up to in the time? Close.
So,
Oh,
Safecracker. Okay, I'm just going to say, Safecracker in VR is so rad because it's the
Oh,
proper
it's so
size.
good.
It's the proper
Yes.
size. The game board works. It just makes so much more sense. And
Yeah.
I remember saying this about Safecracker when it first came out. Leave the animations on. The animations are so good.
I just love how they've got Epic Quest as like the
Oh, I
the
know.
photo in the safe. It's
Yeah.
just great.
Um,
Probably he's still a little bit movie. Like
he is.
he taps and stuffs around with the cabinet. But look, he's not as annoying as some. And look, I played Safecracker a lot, but I've got to point something out. At the point of recording, I went back after I did this recording and played more Safecracker. It's got a token management bug, real bad one.
Oh, really?
It forgets them
Oh,
completely. Yeah,
that's not good.
I've lost. I was playing on, I think it was Time Challenge or something like that. I was playing on one of the sub modes, and in Pinball Effects, it doesn't matter what mode you're on. It remembers your tokens as a collective set.
Yeah.
Across any of the game modes. But in this, like I exited out of a game mode, and I had 2 tokens on the lockdown on the apron, and they were gone, folks. And lucky I wasn't on screen because I was not a happy camper because they've set the game board in Classic and Pro to like extra hard. Like the guy's rolling 5s all the time.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of cases where he doesn't. And I'm just going like, it's brutal. So when you earn a token, you have fought for it a long time, and losing them, I nearly sledged the machine. Look at this. That's a bad place.
That's a bad placement for a pop-up. Yeah.
That's really bad. So there's a couple of things I need to do on this table and this is like for future as well, like for when they get Bonsai Run in, like they got to do something about where these pop-ups pop up. Now, for the record there, I'm pretty sure you can turn those off in the settings as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't want those things popping up and getting in your way, there is an option to turn them off in the in-game settings if you want to. So not a big deal, but they need to think about that. For if you actually still want to see them, they need to put them somewhere else, like off to the side maybe. Like have them fly in from the side or something. Anyhow. Safecracker.
But Safecracker, I just love that the back box is, fully functional the way it should be.
Yeah, all the lights are working. Like everything is actually working the way it does normally. It's really cool. Like, really gives me hope for what Bonsai Run's going to look like.
Yeah.
In this collection, it's going to be great.
All right, moving on.
Move along. Nothing to see here. 54, nearly there. Right. Sorry, I'll just scrub a little bit further.
There you go.
We're going straight into
Attack from Mars. This guy. Who?
I'm calling him. He now has a new name. He's not the General. He is General Grunt. Because when he fires the gun for some reason. Why?
Jared, move your mouse so that that's not.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Blocking. There we go.
Yeah. So why does he fire his gun?
I don't know.
Unnecessary.
Because America.
Because America, fire gun. Anyhow.
I still love I love that guy hiding in the can.
Yeah, but okay, I'm going to provide a bit of feedback here, right? So, what's the game called?
Attack from Mars.
Yeah. What's the main character featured?
The Martians.
No, yeah. Who's standing beside the cabinet?
General Grunt.
Yeah. So, it's not attack from General Grunt. It's attack from Mars. Where are the Martians standing next to the machine?
Because Zen didn't animate them.
Maybe General Grunt can get the bin, and the Martian can be standing there. Like, because the thing that I really, really hate about this animation is when you get into the when you get into the gameplay itself, and I'll scrub to it, you get to multi-ball, try and find the scrub point. Be there. Right. I don't know if you can hear it because the volume is down low. Well, all he's doing is he's pointing. Every time he changes his finger position, he goes, It's general grunt. What? All they did is make him grunt instructions. Like, why? It's yeah. They could have just not done that. You know. I mean, as you can see, it's handling people quite nicely.
I still love the fact that because you can look on the plastics on the slingshot, he's supposed to be in blue, but when we beta tested this way back when for the initial release of Attack from Mars, we all said he just looks like the cop from The Getaway. Change the color of his uniform.
You know, this is a really interesting point because I was discussing this over in the BlahCade Discord, right? And we agreed, everyone who was there, there's 4 character models in this game. There is slim male, slim female, stout hunched male, and dragon. Those are the 4 models that you get, and they just reskin those models. So I'll let Mr. Grunt grunting at me again.
I'm just going to point out, and yes, of course, folks, you knew this was coming. Strobe multi-ball? Yeah, I'm disappointed.
I haven't received it. I haven't actually earned it yet.
It just doesn't
strobe.
I mean, there's a strobe going on, but it's not. This is a dark arcade environment. You should not be able to see the playfield. You should just see the strobes. And
also, it's worth noting, like, if you're seeing this for the first time, the balls do not jerk and move like they are. This is just because we're playing a YouTube video recorded on a headset through a screen share.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you watch this actual video up on YouTube, it's up on the channel. You'll see that it's not doing the weird ball movement that you're seeing. So don't worry about that. But honestly, in strobe multi-ball, that's how the balls should be moving.
Yes.
Like, they should actually be stagnating like that.
Not only that, but your flippers should be in near complete darkness. That's the whole point. That's why the mode is how it is. Why it grants you what it grants you. And it's just, instead it's just, oh yeah, things are happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. It's really easy to see. It shouldn't be easy to see at all, right? Like, I'm not going to go and scrub this because we're going straight into Black Rose, Queen of the High Seas.
So this is one of those that it's a game that benefits from seeing it in 3D.
Yes, really does, actually.
It really makes a difference in terms of understanding what's going on that playfield with those ramps and rails and the cannon and all that.
So that's the character on the side. You got a cannon. Now this is the character in game. And then it's like, the modeling it's honestly pretty good. They've scaled her up really well. Like, it's good.
This is a game that I for sure turn off the visual extras. Because I don't like her hanging out on her sailing mast.
I pretty much ignore her.
Yeah.
She doesn't really bother me that much. I like everything else that's in the game, like the all the other visual extras, like the splashy water on the whirlpool ramp and stuff like that. All looks really good. Notes about this, not too many, honestly. She's pretty static. She just stays there. In fact, she's less animated than the one on the riggings, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and that's just it. I don't mind the VR, standing by the side of the table model. It's
the environmental effect.
It's the visual extras for the game itself, and I'm like, nope, too distracting.
Yeah. Okay, look, I was just looking at this point here, right? Where's my scrub point? So if we go back here, see how the thing flies in over the back glass when I get the achievement. Look at the size and dimensions. Look,
that's much better.
See, that's the size and dimensions of the time challenge banner. Why don't they just slide it in from the right and then slide it out so the back box stays clear? Like, keep the left and the right side of the thing where the notifications come in, and then the back box remains clear. There's your fix. Then go and do it like that. Honestly. Anyhow, I'll get rid of my little scrub.
Yeah.
Do we want to watch this anymore? Or
nah, we're good with this. I will say
On the
on
raw
Black Rose,
side,
I leaned down and I looked, and you can see the ball from the kicker get plunged up into the rail and go all the way down. It's kind of
yeah, the cup, yes,
yeah.
actually, it really does. Like, they've done a really good job at modeling the mechanics.
Yeah,
in
it
this thing,
doesn't
'cause
just
it's quite
magically appear.
yeah, it doesn't just warp, so it's quite good. Nearly there, 14, and then we're going straight. Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
stop dancing. This is the most annoying thing ever.
I'm sorry, Captain Bizarre. You're drunk. You've had too many sherbets. You're about 45-year-old, and you're dancing at a wedding.
It's also the worst on-table enhancements because that stupid rocket, it blocks your vision of the shot.
Yes, it completely covers the hole you're supposed to shoot to relight.
I need everything turned off on this one.
Yep. Oh my! Look at him breakdancing. It's so cringe. Oh my god.
Now, this is something else to point out. Whereas on the tables, the visual enhancements are bespoke to each table. You can turn them on and off, and it remembers. Yeah. The environmental animations, it's global, and I think that's a terrible choice also.
So on that subject, if you're watching the show, you can go over to the feature requests sub-channel in Pinball Effects VR. I've created a thread, and I've requested that they give us a similar toggle per game that we've got for the visual extras.
Yeah.
So just let us set them per table, and I made my case pretty well. Bolty's seen it, so thanks, Bolty, for acknowledging the thread. But if you want to add weight to this, it's honestly the most logical solution to the problem here.
Yep.
Just make it so we can toggle them off and on per game, and the problem goes away. Like, because there's some Williams visual effects that I want to keep on, but there's some that, like this, I cannot play it. And this, when I got to this point in the game, I went, okay, after I've finished the stream, the thing I'm doing is going into the environmental effects and turning them off. This is just like, they need to get rid of him. They really need to get rid of him so badly. He's terrible. He's terrible. People in our BlahCade Discord describe him as, like, I cannot unsee the horror of this character. I don't think anyone...
Which really scares me for when they do Hurricane.
Oh, please not the clown.
It's gonna be the clown.
It's gonna be the scary clown. Yeah, that's an instant off for me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, enough of that game.
Okay, so if you want to watch and work out how I got that score, watch this back after the show. There's a really easy strategy you can employ to do it. And once you know it, you know it. So, yeah. Okay, Theatre of Magic. I'm going to say probably out of all the character-based things, it's a toss-up between Theatre of Magic and the Champion Pub for me as probably the most nicely implemented things, right? So number one, the standing the female skin that has been applied to this model, almost you can sort of see the way they kind of reuse the general sort of height and dimensions of the model, which is, I mean, makes it easier, I guess. But look, really well modeled, very accurate to what is actually in the Williams enhancements in the cabinet. And unobtrusive. She just stands there elegantly adding vibes and whatever that is. I don't know. She's waving her hand. Honestly, when I'm in the game, I didn't even realize she was doing that until I'm watching it back now. Like, so unobtrusive, yet
to me, she reminds me of the gal from Wild West Rampage.
Oh yeah, actually,
just
you're right.
Very subtle, but there. You know.
Yes.
Enhancements on Theatre of Magic, or the visual enhancements, are an immediate off for me because of the Vanish multi-ball.
Okay, so I've got a point to make about Vanish multi-ball. In VR, it actually makes sense. I played it and I got Vanish. And I went, okay, like I can actually see the balls. They actually have a outline to them.
Yeah.
I don't think I managed to get it in this playthrough, but look at this. She does magics, and then she does, I don't know, stuff. She makes it hover. That's all she does, which, I mean, fine. But yeah, so in the game, the balls
Oh, and
actually
glowy
have...
balls. Don't like glowy balls.
Yeah, glow balls aren't great, but the vanish mode in this, like, if you've not experienced in VR, maybe just try for it and turn it on, because it's actually, it makes a lot of sense now.
Now, two other
in
things to
VR.
note about Theater of Magic. One, the mirror does not reflect your ball.
It doesn't, but the only reason why the mirror is there is so you can see what lights are lit in the outlane, and they've done that really nicely by literally just superimposing the lights that you see up there. So the mirror, even in Pinball Effects flat screen, absolutely chugs the piece. There's something about that reflection and rendering it in real time. Yeah. It kills the game. So I can see why they had to turn it off in this, but the solution they found to solve that problem here is elegant, and they could almost just roll that back into the visual extras on the game in flat screen, and it would be fine. Now, look at the back glass. It's animating. The flashes are going off. This is good. I mean, the back glass is a little bit blown out. As far
but
as
this is what
goes.
I want on the At Games 4K machine. I want these animated back glasses. They add.
Yeah. Well, I
and
mean,
clearly Zen has them programmed in and modeled, so why can't we have it?
It'll be processing power, for sure, on the At Games. It's like... Because they're essentially rendering a new animation screen on that second screen, and they're already constrained enough with the hardware on that thing. That rock chip thing is not strong.
I don't know. The other thing that I've had happen with me on Theater Magic, and specifically on Theater Magic, I don't know that I've had it happen on anything else. I've had an instance where it was when theater is lit and it's doing the time, but I also locked a ball at the same moment, and so then it puts the ball into the shooter lane, but it will not let you launch it.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if that's just because of the X-Arcade cabinet. If that's just a bug of it, because it's almost like the button is that you use for launching is turned off.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that for Jared. And it was, like I said, specifically happened when I had theater lit to try and shoot, and I locked the ball, behind, and so it kicked it out to the shooter lane.
Yeah, so the other interesting thing that people have been reporting on the Pinball Effects Discord is that there are some launch ball issues with this table that some people are experiencing. Okay. I didn't have any when I was playing it myself, but it could have been because I was playing in Time Challenge.
Yeah, you're in Time Challenge, so it's automatically firing.
I think so. So maybe that's the reason. But I did go and play it in regular mode as well, and I didn't really see any problems with ball launching.
I also had an issue on Junkyard. I was doing outer space, so the wizard mode, which just keeps on giving you a lot of balls, but it doesn't want to auto launch. And when I was finally done with the mode, it just had 2 balls stuck in the shooter lane, and it was just random. Like, it wouldn't let me fire them off. I had to wait for basically the game to go into ball search mode, and it would fire, and then it would fire. And then it would fire, and it had to pump through like 4 different balls before it finally got the game going again.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably because I know that when you get up to the World Cup finals in World Cup Soccer, you've got to launch the balls continuously as well, and the mechanic seems to work okay on that table.
Yes, it worked fine on that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of problem here. Certainly with the. Yeah, I think there are some ball management issues in this one, but we can keep scrubbing. I've only got 2 more tables. Actually, 1 more table.
One more table.
We're here anyhow. I'm just gonna let it roll through. We're gonna scrub that. So yeah, over the champion pub. So this is, along with Black Rose, another table that makes so much more sense in VR.
Oh yeah, 100%.
As you'll see when you go in, and the reason why I said it's a toss up between Theater of Magic and the champion pub. for visual extras is that the boxer, while he's big, he sort of does this when he's like, interacting, but then he'll just stand there and do that most of the game.
Yep.
So nice little bit of like visual extra there. And there's like a locker and stuff like that. Very unobtrusive. So yeah, he does that a bit, but that's pretty much it. He's not very distracting, and he's well modeled as well. Like, he looks, you look at him, he looks exactly the same as the boxer in the game. Really, really good. So they've done a good job on him.
The ball stop there in the middle, when it goes down, it's so shiny.
Yeah, everything is really shiny. Like, I found all the chrome surfaces in this game have a really odd, almost sort of otherworldly jing to them.
Yeah.
Like, they're a little bit, the texture on them is weird. It sort of almost like has a mirrored look to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very odd. It's weird.
Those green ramps in VR make all the sense in the world now. That basically that whole section up there is where it's like, oh, I understand now.
Yeah, that's right. Like, they actually have. If you've never seen one of these games in the wild, you like seeing it in VR. You go, okay, yeah, they got this weird sort of curvedness to them to help you hook the shots up and get the boxer in their head. So yeah, in VR, it's like, okay, there's dimension to them. You can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I love not having a zoom in on the jump rope or on the speed bag.
Yes.
It's just like how it is when you play it in real life.
Absolutely. It's great. Not a lot of backbox animation going on.
No, it seems like it's just a standard translate.
Yeah, it's very static. I mean, fine, but it would have had flashes and stuff in the back, because I have played one and it does. So I don't know what's going on there. But, overall, so I'm deliberately blasting through the modes like this because my strategy on this game is to do the lucky door prize and then get all the jackpots lit. Then, if I don't suck, shoot all 3 jackpots from left to right, and then lock the ball in the right lock lane, and then repeat that process. So I build the jackpot up to 900,000, and then start multi-ball, shooting jackpots and getting 1 million a shot. So that's the strategy on this table if you're doing a 5-minute challenge. You're welcome. So that's how you get a big score. But I was not doing a good job of that in this game. So definitely enjoy playing the VR games in pro mode, because it just feels less floaty, and the ball runs much faster, and it just feels like you can make your shots a bit better. Strangely enough, I find pro more satisfying to play in. You don't get extra balls and stuff, which is a bit of a pain, but the ball action feels more like I'm used to playing, I guess.
All right, that's our final game, right?
That is the final game?
That is.
Yes.
All right. Well then.
So, yeah.
So there you go. There's, for those of you that do not have the VR, it gives you a much better sense of the environment you're playing in, but definitely what those visual enhancements on the side of the table look like.
A bit of a mixed bag, honestly.
Bit of a mixed bag. I mean, my preference, to be honest, was to play without them at all.
Yep. And then maybe if you're going to have a session on the Zen Originals, you go and turn them back on, because I'll tell you that for me, Battlestar Galactica and Knight Rider, like, love the visual extras on those tables. They're so nicely done. The Mummy, no, that screaming mummy can get right in the bin. And I mean, Noir, meh, whatever.
Yeah.
But Sky Pirates can also get right in the bin.
Yep.
Just in general, but also the visual extras as well. But yeah, so there's a few that, like I said, it would be really nice to have that individual setting for, like, environmental options per game, and in the case of Williams, the visual enhancements per game.
What I
Uh,
really, because I know that Zen's not going to do this. They're going to keep it as is with the space in between the tables. They have to if you want to
yeah,
have
they have
those,
to.
if you want to have those on. But what I would
Yeah.
love is at some point in the future for Zen to just create a warehouse room, and it's just the row of machines, no visual
Oh yeah,
enhancements at all. But just
that you
let
just
me
walk
see that
down.
so I can just see that row, hear. Because what I do like is in the arcade, as you're walking by, you hear the attract
The ambient noises of the
the ambient noises
games.
of the games,
I really like
and
that too.
I want that just everything on ambient noise going and just down the row.
Yeah, having that,
Um,
like, you wouldn't, people who are going, oh gee, I wish I had some more music that I could pump through the arcade. You wouldn't need to if you had all the machines in
yeah,
one room making a cacophony of noise. Although, Chris, I know that they won't do that because brands. Uh,
I know,
but
I know.
if you have your own warehouse and you have VR XR mode enabled, you could do that very
Could
thing.
do that very thing.
So,
Yes, because I'm going to have an
step
empty
one,
warehouse to do just that.
just have an empty warehouse, or I don't know, get your get a quiet street or a parking lot, and just lay out all the machines in a parking lot. I mean,
I'm gonna
people
be
have
in my front yard and people are like, what the heck is he doing?
crazy man with VR. Yep. I still think also like to as a bit of an enhancement for how they've got X Arcade in the game, we should be able to have an X Arcade hot swap zone. So
Oh
a
yeah.
specialist, like where your favorite table is,
Mm-hmm.
there should be a way of quickly swapping between tables so you don't need to move from that spot necessarily. You can just go, no, I want to play this table now.
Yep.
Open up the menu, which, I mean, you do have a menu at the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's like a big table menu. You can select from category, even like take the machine out and look at it really close up. That's kind of cool, I got to say. Like looking at
it's
this little model in your hand, it's
it's like
like,
this
I
it's
love
like
that.
this cabinet of miniature tables, and you go, I want that one, thank you, and boop, boop.
Yeah, literally, it's like that. It's kind of really cool. So I mean, it's half the way there now, but having like a a, a zone that's like designed to be used with like controllers, and you just stay in one place. You don't really care about the rooms or the branding or whatever. And that would be kind of neat. But there's
Which
something else
is
that's been. Oh,
that's
go ahead,
something
sorry.
that is technically what is in Arcade Ranger. They
Oh, okay.
have an actual X Arcade modeled there. You walk up to that, and that's when you want to play with just the floating screen in front of you. That's where you do it. It's just their front end sucks for selecting the next game, but it's
Okay.
literally is that.
Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah.
See, I'd be okay with that. But the thing that's also interesting in this one, I don't know whether it was in the original release, but they've got, as from an accessibility perspective, they've got the ability to teleport now. So if
Yeah,
you
map.
use,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not from the map, that was already there, but no, this is like if you're walking around the arcade, they've got teleport points. So if you use your right stick on your touch controller, you can, rather than moving around left and right and sort of doing that, it'll actually put a little arc and then a target point ahead of you, and you can warp like that all around the arcade really quickly. And they've done a nice thing where if you're in one of the rooms, they've got snap points in front of each machine, so you can look to the side like this, warp to that point over there, and it'll snap right in front of the machine for you
Oh, okay.
if you navigate around like that, which I think is really cool. When I saw it, I went, oh, that's kind of nice. But yeah,
Which
that's
just
something
goes to
else.
show that they're still thinking of things, and I mean, as the game grows in size with more and more machines, that's exactly the kind of thing that they're going to need to be thinking about.
Oh yeah,
Because right now we've got what, 15 tables,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, there's 140 plus tables available in Pinball Effects right now,
yeah.
so
It's going to be
that's going to be
like
massive.
the way you navigate the map is going to become really important in the way that you navigate around that. I think
Yeah.
there's actually in the BlahCade Discord, I asked people what I wanted to talk about in today's show, and they were talking about, one of the things that did come up is like room design, like how are they going to like do more rooms, like what's the next part of the arcade that's going to be torn down, and a new room added. like where they're going to put it. So I think it's sort of, we won't go into too much detail about that today, but there is, I mean, we have mentioned in the past that all those archways are essentially candidates for new rooms.
Yeah.
So wherever you see an archway that's got random stuff put in it, that's where the new room's going to be going. So it could be any of those ones. Um, so yeah, that's probably what I reckon about that. The other thing that they brought up was this sort of evolving layout of the pinhole, like the fact that they've got that expansion that we've seen where they've essentially knocked out a wall, expanded the space beyond it, and the general sort of vibe of the room. So that was another point that was raised, and I think the word was, how's this the general feng shui of the place? It's like, well, it's basement arcade feng shui. Like everything has a place, and it seems to be laid out logically enough. But like you were saying, Chris, I think as they start to add more and more tables, when we start even creeping up to 30 tables, they're going to have to look at different ways of jumping. And I think having some sort of, like in that main room where you have like the favorite table and the bar and stuff, I think having a more interactive way of jumping to areas in the arcade might be a nice way of handling that. Even having, I don't know, maybe you could walk onto a warp pad or something like that in each of the main rooms and jump to another room, like be transported out and then transported in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something like that. Um, there's a number of ways they could novelize the sort of drudgery of navigating around a really big room.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I don't mind walking around the Williams room and actually walking between things and exploring things, but it's going to get to be a bit of a rabbit warren, I think,
And I
after a while.
mean, it is, but here's where also I'm like, one of the things about wandering around an arcade is seeing another player playing a game and you just pausing and watching them play.
Yeah, you're right.
And
This is like, we need presence in the game,
we do.
like user presence.
We do.
Yep.
I do want to
That
say that, Jared, we were wrong in our speculation about what the price of this expansion pack was going to be, and we were wrong in the good way, and that we
Yeah.
said too much.
Yeah, we were way long with the price, which I'm
Way.
very happy about being wrong about.
Yeah.
I love when my speculation is completely off.
And then Zen was it was $9.99 a pack, and
Yeah.
then real quickly, I mean, within like 3 days of them releasing it, Zen did offer a bundled pack for $24.99 for all 9 tables,
Which
and
is
they
so
announced
cheap.
it. They're pretty open about it right off the bat. You know, hey,
Yeah,
hold
they
on,
said, "Don't
and
buy
they
it, just
didn't
see
make
it."
people wait too
Like,
long. So yeah,
they were obviously just trying to get a provision in the store. But I mean, it was interesting seeing the reaction to that on the FX Discord. Like some people were going, "I'm not waiting the 3 days. I'm happy to pay $10 a pack for this and just be able to play it right now and experience it." And some people going, "No, I'll hold off. That's a significant discount. That's
yeah,
right for me." And I love that. I love the fact that, you know, by releasing this pack, they've made everyone happy. I haven't actually seen a lot of negative critique floating around about this, apart from the list of bugs that are still frustrating, like, you know, people not being able to use just their own controllers in this game.
yeah,
That's really annoying people. I get why, because that thing behind us is, probably half the reason why they've done it. Let's
yeah.
be frank, but it is annoying. I'm not even going to lie about that. And there's other stuff like there's just sort of bugs that are well-known bugs. Leaderboards seem to be stabilized a bit now. They seem to be working a lot better. So the fixes they've made to that, loading only 100 records at a time around the area that you're sitting in, like either side, that seems to really have resulted with optimized leaderboard loading, which is great. But, you know, new bugs like that safe cracker token management issue is, you almost have to, when you earn a token, you got to spend it. And I don't actually know if there's a token achievement in the game, because like in Pinball FX Flat, yeah, your achievement was get all 20 tokens or have 20 tokens in your collection at any time. And that was non-trivial to do. So
Yeah.
I hope there's no token achievement in this. I haven't even checked remotely about whether there is or not.
All right. Well, thank you for putting up with us and our 2 episodes of nonstop VR talk. um,
Well,
I know, I
it's
know, I know a lot of you don't have the headset, and I mean, a friend of mine is calling it, "I'll never play flatball again." Um,
honestly that is the general consent. I mean, sure, it's everyone in the Pinball FX VR
well, yeah, of
sub
course.
channels that going, I will never touch flat screen again. But there's an overwhelming majority of people that I've seen going, yeah, flat screen's dead to me now. I can't play it, and I'm definitely in that camp. I don't want to fire up flat FX VR FX anymore.
Yeah.
It, even though there's more tables and there's more stuff in there, if they keep releasing tables at the cadence they're doing, like 3 packs every month or even every 2 months, yeah, we're going to get up to the point where flat screen FX doesn't matter. And we've already seen the pattern where they're looking at doing that simultaneous release thing, right?
I was gonna say next
Um,
month, or just in 20
couple of
days,
weeks,
we'll
yeah.
have a Tomb Raider, so 2 more tables dropping in here.
Day date on VR with a flat screen.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
I'm encouraged by that. That
Mm.
means that they are basically committing to this. Um,
It doesn't look
I
like a flash in a pan thing.
I do come back to, though, if you're not going to make this game compatible with the X, or the other 2 VR games compatible with the X Arcade, you need to get those tables in here.
You absolutely do. Like,
100%.
if there's no plans, I suspect that they're probably going, well, we've already got VR experiences for them. We're not going to port them into the main app because it's like, well, they're there. But yeah, you're right. If they're not going to, if they have no plans about doing that, then that thing needs to be integrated into those games.
The only
Until
thing that I'm
do it.
wondering is, because this is running off of Unreal 5.
Yeah.
Now, I do think, was Star Wars VR Unreal 5 also?
No, it's 4.
Is 4. So I think there's where your problem is. They are going to have to do a port of quality into that. But don't wait too long. Because I don't want to.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to play those games. I really don't. Not with triggers. It just
no, it's
not
yeah,
satisfying
great.
in the least.
It's not at all. And yeah, it's somewhat annoying that I still can't get DLC downloading in Classic, VR Classic. It's not Zen's fault. I don't think it's actually the OS problem. They got a DLC issue across the board, but I can't download Paranormal and all those other tables that are really
that's
fun.
interesting, because I got them.
Yeah, you probably downloaded them a while ago, as like, because I did the reinstall. Oh, did you? No, you would have actually set up your device new.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can't. It just comes up with that little sort of scrolling rectangle, the little target thing,
Interesting.
and no download action at all. I can't do it. Maybe I need to uninstall and reinstall it or something. I'll try that.
Anyway, maybe next time we'll have stuff that's not VR related. We'll see. We'll come up with some ideas. Obviously, again, with Tomb Raider coming out, that's probably what our next episode is going to be all about, is our experience with the Tomb Raider tables. So stay tuned for that. Again, appreciate those of you that went ahead and pushed that subscribe button so that we can get over that one little hump there. It's just nice to see. So, and we appreciate the support. Please, please, please leave comments in YouTube. We do respond to virtually every comment that we can find. Jared is very active on the Discord channel for the show, so pop in there. If you want to comment on Twitter, that's my realm.
Yeah,
and on YouTube, typically I'm the one commenting on the YouTube stuff too.
Yeah, Chris is normally pretty quick to jump in there. If I ever comment on it, I usually just put my name as at the end of it, because normally I'm running through the YouTube like studio thing. Yeah, it doesn't let me select which user I am, so I just put my name at the end.
But we do enjoy interacting with all of you, so please keep on doing just that. Let us know what you want to hear about from the show, and we'll do our best to chat that up. If you like these playthroughs that Jared does and just post them as videos, again, watch and like those particular videos, leave comments and such. And 'cause I know Jared enjoys recording his sessions and posting them. It's easy. He's just playing and records.
Yeah.
So,
And tell me if you like to hear me ramble on in them, or whether you just like to hear me shut up and just watch the gameplay.
yeah.
So let me know.
All right. All that being said, that's what we got for you this time. Next time, it'll be everything that I just mentioned. And
Stuff and things.
till then, folks, bye-bye.
See ya.